friends, and welcome back to the Brockopp side. Today we got ourselves a movie review of Ready Player One, directed by Steven Spielberg. This movie is based on the book of the same name written by Ernest Cline, who also helped write the screenplay, and is about this virtual video game world called the Oasis, where people in the year 2045 go to escape everyday life, and there's been this contest going on ever since the creator passed away, which basically, if you complete these 3 different challenges, you get these 3 keys, and if you find all 3 keys, you can unlock this golden egg, which gives you complete and total control over the Oasis. So I was fortunate enough to go see this movie a week early thanks to an advanced screening from the AMC Premier Stubs program, which is basically AMC's rewards program. And what was particularly cool about this advanced screening was, well, number one, I didn't have to wait in a 2-hour line to get in, or to hopefully get in. I was actually able to go inside the theater and pick my seat like a normal screening would be, and the best part is it was also in Dolby, which I've never seen a movie in Dolby before, which basically, if you don't know, it's this gigantic screen, kind of like IMAX level, and they got this amazing sound system that surrounds the entire theater, and there were these really nice leather reclining seats. It was just a great and immersive experience for a movie like this. So if you are going to go see the movie, I definitely recommend seeing it in Dolby, or at the very least the largest screen that you can. And at the end of the screen they gave out these cool little Ready Player One posters. These are really nice. I got one back there too. I took 2 of them. I didn't say I couldn't, so I did. But that's enough about this screening. You want to hear my thoughts about the movie itself. And the short answer is, I really enjoyed this movie. I think this is just a movie that only Steven Spielberg could have directed, because he is one of the directors that pioneered the adventure genre of the 80s and 90s, which this movie pays tribute to. You know, the story is very simple. You got this contest, and the winner gets control over this giant empire, similar to Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, I suppose. You got some great characters, you got a very nice classical score in there, it's a very well-paced movie, and it's also a visually incredible movie. That's one of the things I really liked about this movie especially, is that the CGI is really freaking good. Now, from the trailers, the CGI I thought didn't look all that great, but then the movie, it looks incredible. The world of the Oasis, the CGI is really good, but it's not like real world good. The CGI is basically like those movies that Robert Zemeckis used to make that were motion capture, like Polar Express, Beowulf, A Christmas Carol, things like that, which then that company got shut down because they made Mars Needs Moms and everybody stopped caring about those kind of movies. But it was basically like that, but since it's the world of a video game and it's mixed in with live action, it looks really good, and it looks like a video game, but not like a cheap Polygon PS2 game or anything like that. And one thing I also really liked that was a good visual distinction between the Oasis world and the real world is that the scenes in the real world are shot on 35mm, while the scenes in the Oasis are clearly shot on digital, which I really like, because also, since this is also paying tribute to 80s adventure movies, it just fits really well. So let me ask you a quick question. Are you a fan of pretty much anything? I mean, if you're a fan of video games, movies, cartoons, if you're a fan of anything like that, if you go in to see this movie and then you come out of the theater, I guarantee you're going to have to change your pants. Because there are just so many different pop culture references and characters mixed in there, and it's not just there for fan service purposes either. This movie is not just, hey, look at that, there's Batman, oh, look at that, there's the Ninja Turtles. I mean, it's actually there to serve the story, and it makes sense. It's not just there to be like, whoa, look at that cool thing I grew up on. You got the Ninja Turtles in there, which oddly enough, are the live-action Ninja Turtles from the 2014 movie and not the classic 90s Ninja Turtles, so That's a little odd, but probably my favorite character that they utilized was the Iron Giant, because I just have such fond memories of watching that movie as a kid. I finally just got the Blu-ray a couple of months ago, and it was just really great to see the Iron Giant on the big screen like that. And in the Iron Giant's final scene in this movie, I nearly cried, and it was just so emotional. It hit me right in the nostalgia feels in just the right way. And like I mentioned, there are a lot of video game characters, but it's not just, retro 90s Super Nintendo characters. They have a lot of newer properties like Halo, Overwatch, even Minecraft in a couple of scenes. So I really liked that they didn't just make it a giant 80s nostalgia fest, they added in some contemporary stuff, which, chances are in a few years, some of those properties will be nostalgic as well. Sheridan, Olivia Cooke, Ben Mendelsohn, Simon Pegg, TJ Miller, they're all in this movie and they do great jobs here as well. I don't know what it is, but Ben Mendelsohn just knows how to play a corporate big shot villain character. All I gotta do is just put him in a suit, put him in charge of a big corporation like Daggett Industries or, the Empire, and suddenly he's just a very compelling villain. The characters are very likable, they have good chemistry together, and you want to see Sheridan and Olivia Cooke's characters, you want to see them get through the end of the movie. I don't have any major glaring issues with the movie at all. If I do, it comes down to little nitpicky type stuff that's not even worth getting into, but it was just a very, very, very enjoyable adventure film that calls back to classic 80s movies. They even actually recreate certain scenes from classic 80s movies. Literally, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but if you see the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's just got every single great pop culture, movie, video game character you can imagine, and you're going to see, basically, several different crossovers you didn't even think were possible, except in your erotic fanfiction online. Don't look at me like that, I know you do it. So all in all, Ready Player One was a very fun, classic feeling adventure movie with some great characters, some great visuals, a good nostalgia trip here and there, and it just proves that Steven Spielberg can go back to the genre that he made famous, which just makes me all the more excited for Indiana Jones 5. Even though we still have to wait 2 more goddamn years for it. So, those are my thoughts on Ready Player One. Now, while this movie doesn't come out for another week, when you guys have seen the movie, or if you have seen the movie already, let us know down below, and we'll see you on the Brockopp side.